EBITDA margins. Those are healthy. They're not quite at our long-term goal of 20 to 22%, but they were very, very close. And remember, the 20 to 22% goal is a 3-year goal. So I thought those were good margins. Our earnings per share was up 15% year over year. That's obviously very healthy. And it was, I think, a penny more than consensus, and it was within our guided range. So that was all really positive. Where we fell short was on revenue, and maybe more importantly on orders. So revenue in the quarter was below consensus, and it was also below the low end of our guided range. And that was obviously disappointing for all of us, and it was disappointing for shareholders. Where we were surprised, actually, was not on our year-over-year growth, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but sequentially, our revenues actually went down from Q2 to Q3. That's unusual. Typically, our revenues grow from Q2 to Q3, and that's where we got a little bit surprised. So as we were doing the forecast, and we looked at the year-over-year results, or the year-over-year forecast, we knew that we were going to have a really strong quarter, but we were a little bit surprised that the results didn't improve or look more favorably to Q2. And there were a couple of reasons for that. We saw orders weaker in our PPC business in Q3 than we had expected. Grass Valley's orders were weaker in Q3 than we had expected. And then on the industrial side, we've been fighting some capacity issues. So it's a high-class problem, but orders within our industrial business have been strong, and we've been struggling in a number of our facilities to keep up. So that was disappointing. And as a result of some of the capacity issues and as a result of some of the order weaknesses, we reduced our full-year guidance. So we took down the revenue on a full-year basis. We took down the earnings as well, because if you don't have the revenue, you're not going to have the gross margin dollars, and that's going to affect your earnings. And then when we issued our fourth quarter guidance, it was also below where consensus was. So it was not one of my favorite calls to do. These are always a little bit tougher. And you know, we obviously got through it, but from a third quarter point of view, I'd hoped we'd do better.
Thanks, John. Maybe you could share with us some strategic investments and how they're driving growth.
Yeah, so on the other side of the coin, revenue growth in the third quarter was the best it's been in a long time. So we were up 6.8% year over year in the third quarter. That puts us in the higher end of our stated range of 5 to 7. So that was great. And most of that growth, by the way, was organic growth. So organic growth was up 5.2% in the quarter. Also very, very strong results. Pretty balanced. So our industrial business was up 6.2% in the quarter. Our enterprise business was up 4.6% of the quarter. So very good. Our industrial business, if they had not